Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards.
Yes!
I can breathe. This is the thing. What you have to understand is this is literally like watching your child grow up. If this is the closest thing to watching your child grow up, because when I first started the idea of having a baby, I was laying on your couch and we talked about dreaming this up, and I remember I would go to Rob. Rob was making the decks. Rob, make this deck. Rob would type up the decks, and then and he would make it look this way, and we always had the idea of doing things, and so. It's so crazy how life is just full circle, because that was years. When I say years ago, that was so many years ago. And then for us to like have the idea come to life on the first annual, when we did it at the club, we did it in 3 days. We had not that many celebrities there because we didn't plan it in time. We had a cheap award that we bought off a line somewhere. And we did it at a nightclub, but although it was beautiful, here's some video footage I'll play while I'm talking over it for those of you watching on YouTube. But, it was a beautiful, beautiful venue that we turned into something out of nothing. But it really was, I think, the beginning of us knowing that we could do this for real. And then Rob and I had the audacity to dream. And we said, why don't we take it into the grand ballroom at the Beverly Hilton where Clive Davis and the Golden Globes. I mean, if you think about it, it's really crazy to think that we would take it. We bankrolled the second year. We bankrolled it. We did that one, I think, in like a week or 10 days. We got Mariah Carey and everybody to pop out. The show was so popping that we didn't even tell nobody who was there. People just came waiting to see who it was. So everything was a surprise. We had Lizzo, Jennifer Lewis, and all that. And then we bankrolled that for, I think, like 460 grand or something out of my own budget, out of my own pocket. No sponsors, no deal, no nothing. We just did it. And we fell in love with it, that Rob and I were committed to seeing this show continue. Then we did it the next year and it got better. And then the next year. But baby, this year, y'all don't understand that this almost broke me. And I know Rob is laughing because he did all the work. But he did all the work, but I did all the stressing. And Rob, this is why I love being surrounded by the gays, right? Rob will walk around just whistling and having a good old time when, in my mind, the world is falling apart with the award show. So I first have to give Rob his round of applause and his flowers.
Yes.
I have to give you your flowers because I'm telling you right now, when people say this would not be possible without, let's be extraordinarily clear. This would not be possible without Rob, because he literally did it all.
Well, thank you.
And he pivoted a million times. I feel like people think that the plan is just the plan set, but you guys had a bunch of little fires you were putting out the whole time till the last minute.
We will get to the fires. We're going to go beyond the veil and unlock the award show because it was a hot-ass mess. But I'll pass it to Rob first. So, I learned a lot in this process. We talk a lot about DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusion and how we don't support each other sometimes. This year was very interesting with how many people we wanted to honor, who were in, out, who didn't commit, who weren't committing. Some that just, they talked the talk in public, but then didn't show up. But in looking back at all of how the board was moving with honorees and stuff, it literally was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. That it's crazy how the show that we had is the show that it should have been. But yeah, unfortunately, like we did run into a lot of hiccups where people had life events that happened that they couldn't have foreseen, so they had to back out. We had people who double booked their schedule, their teams double booked their schedule, and they had to back out at the last minute. So it just kept evolving and changing. But again, I think everything is falling into place for these shows to be the show they are for that moment. And it's always perfect.
Listen, it was Jane Fonda FaceTiming me at 3 a.m. with Tiffany saying that she was excited to be honored. We started to prepare for Jane Fonda. And then last minute, she realized she was booking it herself and didn't look at the schedule, so Jane couldn't do it. And she sent the most beautiful text message about how upset she was that she couldn't participate. There were other people I'm not going to list. But what I will say is, Rihanna was somebody that we were going to honor this year, and she really wanted to be there. And unfortunately, her dad died, which is just tragic. And as a friend, I called her team and was like, we're not even going to go there. And they got that message to her. And I sent her flowers before her father passed. And, I don't like to impede on people's privacy, especially her. I try to stay respectful until she checks me like, slut, why you ain't called me? But she did send me the most beautiful flowers, Ree. I'm going to put them up here. These are the flowers, and this is the card from Rocky and Ree. Thank you so much. The flowers you're sending me are getting bigger. I have the room. You can get a tree next. Just feel free to do whatever you want. But thank you. But see, like that's the difference. And then some of the other people who didn't show up, because at least she still was very present. She called afterwards and she was like, "Oh my God, Keke killed it," and da da da. So she had FOMO. But the fact that she's that dialed in still, and that she really wanted to be there. So Rihanna, I'm telling you and everybody right now, girl, you're on the list for next year. Don't have no babies. Don't have no babies. Don't be out of town. Put that hold on your list, on your schedule now, because we want to honor you. And it's about giving flowers to those that deserve them. And somebody as innovative as her and as iconic. I mean, there's so many different categories you could fall in. And I also want to shout out Tyler Perry for reaching out. Tyler Perry, Fantasia went back and told him about the show. And, I think as people get exposed to it, they see that it is a real thing. Let's get into some of the highlights. But before I get into mine, what were some of your highlights, both of you, Rob?
I mean, the evolution for me that was the most beautiful was the red carpet, because we had gone from... And that was a happy accident too, because the venue was going.
A happy accident?
Yeah, for me it was a happy accident.
I had to call Paris Hilton.
But I'm happy that happened, because the venue's under construction in certain parts of it, so we couldn't use the normal space where we do the red carpet, and we moved it outside, which to me was just so much more opulent, so much more beautiful. It was like jaw-dropping when you walked out to the carpet. So that to me was like the biggest and most beautiful evolution.
And I loved how it was like golden, the draping, and then it was like golden hour, when the sun was setting and it was hidden on the velour. It was very rich.
I won't lie. This is how God has to be in the work that we do. Because when shout out to Tanya. Can we just give Tanya a round of applause?
Oh, yeah.
Poor Tanya.
Poor Tanya, God.
First of all, Tanya is snatched, and Tanya is real cute, and she's been working with us so long now that I know she knows the crazy, right? So when Rob says we're doing a walkthrough with Jason, I'm sure there's some meeting at the Beverly Hilton where they're like, "Oh my God." Because I literally hit that thing, and I have a critical eye. Excuse me?
I'm just thinking about that walkthrough. It was very much Double Wears Prada.
No, listen, Miranda Priestley is my icon, right?
God.
Like, I am staying true to form here. When I land at that hotel, I'm in there knowing a couple things. One, I'm there representing the Zeus network because I'm spending their money. They're investing in a product. I'm there making sure that the experience that people have. And that's why every single year, there's always somebody that says, "I've never seen the room look like this. I've never been in a space." Because we pay attention to the detail. I'll say Marina, she abandoned her job at this show. I say your only job is to follow me around and get social content. I looked up, she's over here with Vic Mensa. She's over here, and I'm like, look at her. She was taking care of the guests to make sure that they were having a great experience. And that was important to me because that is what it's all about, right? And listen, I will tell you, when they told me that due to construction, we were going to have to take our carpet outside, I called Paris Hilton. I was going to call Kathy Hilton. I was complaining. But I have to say, Tanya, you guys did a phenomenal job. You, the whole team, I mean, you let us take over the whole Beverly Hilton Hotel. I don't know that that's ever happened, but we did it. And that red carpet, when I hit it, it was amazing. Krishan was there, and she was wearing booty shorts, and that was a concern because we didn't have the proper security protocols. And then well, anyway, let's start with that. Here's a photo of Krishan on the red carpet. Now, let's just do a video. Remember, here's a video of Krishan on the red carpet in booty shorts trying to walk the carpet. Okay, I'm going to talk over this. Krishan, damn well you were in the wrong for showing up like that. Well, it gets better. After I walked the carpet looking wildly sexy. In fact, here's a video of me coming off the podium talking to, there I am right there. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying. It's a classic, man. Shout out to Wayman and Micah. Wayman and Micah, they dress Coleman Domingo and lots of other people. But I saw Coleman style, and I said, yo, I wanna look that good. Look at me. I want to sleep with me right now.
Me too.
It's the trait of it all. Okay, come on. I felt like a boss. I ain't gonna lie. Well, Then I go inside and they're like, Ray J's here. I'm like, oh, great, Ray's here. I love Ray. But he's not dressed to dress code. Here's a photo of Ray J. As they came to me and said, you need to go get Ray J. You have to tell him he needs to leave. I went over there and Ray J was there with a bunch of people wearing shorts and walkie-talkies because clearly he was probably filming for his Twitch account. And this fool was there, and here's a photo of me kicking Ray J out. Okay, now, it wasn't a hostile kick out. It was a friendly, like, whatever. And he was laughing because Ray J likes me so much and I like Ray J so much. And I remember when I did Love and Hip Hop, he was the one who told me how to use reality TV and use these moments. He is a walking viral moment. So as I was asking him to leave, he kind of smirked and then said, are you kicking me out? He started to make a scene. I said, I don't know who's filming this, but you are getting kicked out. And he just left. But Ray, you're always welcome to anything I do, but you got to dress up. Come on. And then I went inside the gold room. The gold room. Do we have photos of the gold room? Okay. We'll just do some photos here. This is what the gold room looked like if you're looking on YouTube. It was the most beautiful thing. But in person, I walked in, again, not having a chance to sit with it, starting to be critical on lighting, the sound. There was no mic in the room. But wasn't it beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Opulent.
Yeah. I loved it. And I love how we repurposed it then after. For the like it was a before and after. Like the room transformed from before the awards to after.
Those were two different rooms.
Two separate rooms.
Now you know those were two different rooms. Marina, we had a whole
the gold to the red?
We took over the whole play. The red was already created.
Johnny cut that out.
Marina,
Johnny cut
no,
that
Johnny,
out.
leave
No,
it
Johnny
there.
cut that out.
No, because that's what I love. I love the fact that people think that while we were doing an award show and dinner, they came back and it was gold to red. No, it was a whole different room. We had a budget this year.
Yeah, we did the after party in a bigger ballroom this year. So the
so you saw where the gold room was? If you would have walked to the left and walked past
it was behind. It was behind. Okay, it was next to each other. Oh, God.
Right.
Oh, okay, wow.
But it was beautiful. I mean, we had champagne there. And the thing about it is Big Boy walked in, and Big Boy had never been, Big Boy from 92.3, Big Boy's Neighborhood. He had never been there. He was like, this is crazy. And so I was living for all the experiences. It was great having DJ Damage back in the building, DJing for us again, and he's family. And then we went into the ballroom. And the ballroom, let me show you the ballroom really quick. This is the ballroom where we had our award show. I have to give props to Sean, aka Super Nerd. We have it down now to where we don't ever see what Sean is doing until we get in the room. Am I right?
Yeah. At least this year we had a little bit of like.
We gave direction.
Sneak peek.
We gave direction on what we wanted in terms of color, but we did not know all the graphics and this and that. Sean, you outdid yourself. And again, shout out to Lori from Wife of the Party, who I think she's just a sociopath that needs to work under. She needs to have chaos going on to be great, like me. And she creates the chaos.
Yeah, she does.
But she controls it and she over-delivered. The after party. Look at the after party. Stunning red, monochromatic red flowers. People were asking me if the gold room flowers were real. I was like, yeah, they painted those flowers.
Everything's real.
Yeah.
The girls and the giant martini, like jacuzzi things.
The champagne glasses. Do we have that? Yeah. I was on stage waiting for Maya to perform, watching all the water spill on the floor. And I was like, who is going to
like somebody's about to slip.
Right, Lord. But they fixed that. Everything was special. But let me unpack the show. Because last week, we celebrated the 5th annual Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards, as I said, over at the ballroom. And we had tons of talent walking the carpet and filling the ballroom of the Beverly Hilton. So it started with me, as I said earlier, walking into the event looking very dapper. I want to shout out Wayman and Mike again. For those of you watching, I have to play it back. Take a look at this video. This was Rob's idea of putting a video moment at the end of the carpet just for Hollywood Unlocked. So we had our own elevated place of doing interviews. And then I walked right into the gold room. And this was, when Lori sent us over the idea, it didn't look like this. So her delivery is great. And Tyron Red did a phenomenal job. And shout out to JP, who shot all my BTS that night. Well, Tiffany she hosted again. And she realized that she had been fired at the top of the show. Not really fired, but we've had Tiffany for 4 years, and now I want Tiffany to come on as executive producer and my date. And so she came out and hosted, but before things kicked off, we had a pass the mic moment. And I will tell you, this again was God creating a viral moment for us because, last year we had Jonathan Majors that went super viral. Well, this year it was what happened before the show that none of us planned, right?
Nope.
That the world saw. So look at this moment with Keke Palmer, Yolanda Adams, Stevie Mackey, and Candace, and a bunch of other people. Take a look.
my daughter told me to stop.
That was amazing. And then, if that wasn't enough, it was Keke Calandria Jones. I don't even know her full names. Palmer, who passed the mic. Take a look. Let's be clear, if you're ever going to have stars in the building, please make sure they're active on social media, because Don Lemon also had his angle for that moment, and he posted that and many other clips on his social media, which helped it to go viral. Take a look. Well, we had Fantasia, Yolanda Adams, Andrew Day, and Johnny Gill all perform. Let me show you. When I tell you Babyface was our creator, what was he? Our
music director.
He was our global ambassador of music direction. I don't know the title, but I have to give shout out to Babyface.
We had 2 other performances too.
Wait, but we also had Donald Lawrence, the gospel icon, get involved. And when he called me and asked me about Yolanda, I said, we need to have a choir. And he said, do you want 10, 15, 20, 30? I said, I want 30. And he brought the most amazing choir. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to see this on the Zeus Network, because I'm telling you right now, the music has never been this good. Shout out to Erskine, is it Erskine? Erskine. Mm-hmm. Erskine, our MD, whose Babyface's MD. You have replaced everybody. He was great.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. We had Andrew Day. Who else did we have performing?
Tiffany.
And Jessica Betts.
We did have Jessica Betts perform. You're going to have to see that. I'm not going to give away that moment. But we also had Tiffany perform in a performance that we pulled together 24 hours before the show. Yeah. But it looked great. We did that.
Yeah. It was insane.
We did that.
And we had a surprise set by Maya at the after party. Let me show you a photo collage of Maya. She looked amazing. Mm-hmm. And I asked Maya to do 5 songs, but she came and she did way more than 5 songs. She put on a good show, and thank you so much. Now, before all of that, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett presented to Don Lemon with the Social Impact Award. Let me show you a photo of them together here on stage. And Yolanda Adams honored Fantasia with the Inspiration Award. Fantasia looked so good, and she smelled so good. Wait, can I tell you something? Yolanda Adams is 63 or 62 years old.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize.
I did not know that.
Yolanda, I love you so much. Your song "In the Midst of It All," which is what she performed at the show, is something that I've been wanting to have her perform at something of mine. You went way above and beyond what I would have expected from you, even though I know you're like the god of gospel. But it was just, Yolanda Adams is everything. Did you enjoy?
I had my head down and my arms open like this. I was dancing, and Keisha was like, "Why are you dancing like a black girl? You're over there." And I'm like, "I don't know. The spirit just took me over."
No, and she literally took the room to church.
Yes.
And the crazy part about that too is we have been trying to get Yolanda to do the show
for what, 2 years?
For now? 2 years, yeah. And it was this again was the perfect moment for her to be there, because it just worked out so beautifully.
And everybody was like attacking her. They were so excited and like wanted to take photos, and she patiently took a photo with every single person afterwards. Like, she is a queen.
She's gracious. Her daughter's fabulous. I was glad that she was able to be there. She looks just like her mom. But there was the moment before the award show when we were in rehearsals that Yolanda, in the midst of her rehearsing, and right at the end, she spoke into me. She poured into me. It was a very emotional moment. They caught a couple tears on camera. For those of you watching, take a look.
You keep doing what you know to do, that's right. And even when you mess up, Stop being hard on yourself. You hear me? That is a momentary lapse. Ain't got nothing to do with your future. Because if God can use David, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and, you know, and it means a lot when somebody sees you. They see your heart. They see your intention. She knows what we've been building. Like Rob said, we've been trying to get her here for a couple years. And so for her to be in that moment with us, to share her talent with my audience, to stand on the stage, I ain't gonna lie. This is a woman who's performed for presidents, who probably wasn't aware that I listen to her music every single day. Anyway, I love you, Yolanda, and thank you so much for all your support. Megan Good.
A queen.
That body
Oh my
was
God.
body
What?
in.
That dress.
Woo! The
cutouts.
Megan Good presented to Keke Palmer the Spirit Award. Take a look at them. Look at that.
Yup.
She gonna get pregnant. Jonathan,
Mama is fine.
I know Jonathan is anyway. Megan, I've known you for too long to even finish that sentence, but I know y'all. If OnlyFans was something, look at them. Look at them. That just looks like, that's black love, black excellence. You guys are amazing. I love them. And I love the fact that they show up for us too. And Megan,
Every time.
I have to give Megan the credit for my relationship with Tyler Perry. She's actually the one who helped to make the connection. And you know, I posted earlier today about gatekeeping, how in our culture, sometimes people don't want to support people. She didn't just call Tyler and try to reach out. She nurtured the relationship, and she called me one day and said, Tyler wants your number. Can I give it to him? And now he and I are talking and building. So shout out to Megan for that. And the Brat and Jessica Harris Dupart, our favorite couple from last year, who came in and were awarded last year, showed up and presented to Niecy Nash Betts the Fearlessness Award, and she was serenaded by her wife Jessica Betts. Take a look here. Here they all are on stage. Such an amazing moment. Niecy looked great.
Snatched.
Lena Waithe was there. She presented to Vic Mensa the Community Award. Take a look. And thank you, Lena, for showing up, and Vic for stealing our award. I saw Vic posted on his social media the next day this video of him packing his clothes, and little did we know, he stole our award. Take a look.
I was given this award tonight, Hollywood Unlocked Impact Award for community. I was at the award show. It was just like so many dope people being honored. Keke Palmer, Don Lemon, Megan Good, Tiffany Haddish was the host. Like real stars. Lena Waithe gave me this long, eloquent introduction. And bruh, I was just having so much imposter syndrome. It's not that I don't think I'm dope or believe that I'm deserving, but I guess I felt so overlooked for so long that to be entering a moment where more people are aware of what I do and showing me love is completely unsettling for me. Like, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And that false voice in my head tells me one day I'll accomplish something that will make me worthy of being honored on stages such as these. Cause I'm caught up on validation, right? See, the funny thing about validation is if you base your sense of self in the validation of others, well, then it's not even really yours. And the way I'm working on beating imposter syndrome is to realize that every thought that comes through my head is not me. If I can stop identifying with my thoughts and just be the observer, make the best decisions I can, be driven by my purpose, tell my truth. Stephen told me today you need to take a few minutes to be proud of yourself for putting out this music and receive the praise people are giving you. I can barely even make it through a conversation about receiving praise. I changed the subject, nigga. Shit, I'm working on it. And it all starts with what I tell myself. So I'm gonna end this off by telling myself, nigga, you deserve it. It ain't like you ain't worked for it. You deserve it.
Well, I texted him, I said, yo, you stole the award. He said, yep, I ran out of there with it. But he was so happy, but his speech, I cannot wait till you guys see his speech. That speech, what award did he got? Community. He should have got Fearlessness after that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, Big Boy presented to Warren G the Culture Award. Take a look. Warren was there with his wife and Big Boy. And, you know, Warren recently was on The Breakfast Club where he talked about not getting his flowers. What do you think? Was that good to finally see him get his flowers?
Absolutely. And he was so grateful. I had an opportunity to speak to him out in the lobby and just like really talk to him. He was saying how grateful he was to be in the room. So I mean, just being able to have that conversation with Warren G is crazy.
I didn't get to speak to him at all.
Really?
No, I didn't get because it was
a lot
It
going
was a lot.
on.
It
there
was
was
a lot.
lot going on. I saw him walk in. He looked great. I loved the suit. I wanted to go over because I've been a fan for years. He did send me a message on Instagram, and so I do plan to maybe go to lunch or something because I do want to build a relationship. I mean, he's an icon that I've grew up with, and so yeah, I mean,
And I love that Big Boy was the one to present to him because like Big Boy really has been doing the work. He's like an icon. All his interviews, like he is like a West Coast like staple. And for him to give it to Warren, it was a good moment. It was perfect.
That was Jason's idea. It was.
and look, I have one job to do for the show, and that is talent, talent, and pay for things. But Rob does everything. Rob and Sean. And Winfred, we got to shout Winfred. They do all of the work that you see. I literally just booked the talent, and so it's a perfect marriage. And I stress out over the talent because, when Jason Lee's calling you to do something, you have to decide whether you want to or not. And sometimes it can get a little interesting. This year I learned a lot though, and I will, we'll do better next year planning. I mean, we're timing and all that.
Yeah.
We also had Phaedra Parks and Nene Leakes do a surprise reunion in honoring Lemuel Plummer from the CEO of Zeus Network. Take a look. Here they are. Again, I thought this moment came together well because Phaedra has known Lemmy for years, and then Nene was just on the Zeus Network with her own moment. They did something together, and Lemuel, it was a surprise because Rob and I talked about this. Lemuel has created a Black-owned network that is doing numbers and doing well, and he is putting people who have been traditionally on shows getting $1,000 episode and put them in positions to get EP credits, which we know in this industry is important, and creating their own ideas and giving them proper funding. And so we didn't want him to know he was getting honored because we didn't want it to look like he was paying us to honor him because this was strictly our decision. We're going to redo the video package though because there was a lot of fighting in that video, and that's not what we were honoring. What we were honoring was the creativity of being able to create your own network and your own platform, and he's been able to successfully do that. And we're a partner not only in the award show but also in the Jason Lee show. Somebody needs to write his speeches for him though.
Yes.
Well, he didn't have a
was
speech written
shocked.
because it was a surprise. So
Yeah.
I think as his package was playing, I think he was probably trying to jot down notes.
Well, it was him shouting out all 20 people that he
yes,
came with.
I was gonna say
And shout out to the water boy in the back. You're great. I mean, Lemmy, you're hilarious. But he was so humbled and so grateful and well deserved, Lemmy. So thank you.
And I thought the Phaedra and the Nene thing was genius because they really paved the way for like Black reality TV for housewives. Because remember she was talking about the OC being and I'm
Are you
like,
saying that was your idea?
It sure was.
It was not your idea.
Well, I said Nene, and then you said Phaedra.
It was
Nene.
both. It was a collab.
So it was a
guys.
collaboration.
The end result was Phaedra and Nene. So,
Correct. You guys are Phaedra and Nene. It's giving me that.
But no, it was great. And I mean, you know how much I stressed.
Yes.
Rob would
Every day.
Rob would say, "Why are you stressed?" And I would have meetings with Rob because I have to stress him out too. And he would know what I'm trying to do. He's gotten better at seeing the triggers now. He's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna let you trigger me." But I just, because there were so many people that we really, really wanted to include. We had gotten up to I think 11 or 12 awards.
Yeah,
and we nailed it. How many did it go down to? 8?
8.
Okay. Which is what it usually lands on.
Yeah. And your favorite
Please
thing to
keep
say
it at
every
8,
day was,
Lord.
if it falls apart, just realize this is on you. And I'm like,
Yup.
nothing's going to fall apart.
When the ticketing thing was a thing, Jason was like, "Yup, that's why I told Rob it was gonna get messed up."
Sure did and did.
No, it didn't. It was perfect.
Somebody
wasn't
told me the other day, "Oh my God, your check-in process was so great this year." I said, "No, the hell it wasn't."
Well, that was Kat too. Shout out Kat.
we're getting shout out to Kat. Yeah, but we are getting better with it's 4th year in this venue. We now are keeping that red carpet outside.
Yeah, it has to stay outside.
Stunning.
1,000%. I also want to say this may be shocking, but we had no sponsors.
Mm-mm.
All of you should feel stupid that you didn't participate. And
Yeah.
we're calling you in to do it next year because we should have major brand partners given the cachet of talent. Next year's talent lineup, me and Rob have already settled on who we're going to honor.
Mhm.
Every category has been filled. When you see it, you're going to gag. And we know that we're going to have brands next year for sure. Okay. But anyway, thank you to everybody that attended. Thank you to all of you who participated. And this was a really important year because this was a year where it now benefits financially my nonprofit to help with the kids in Stockton and LA that we're developing programs for. And we had a special video there that I'm going to put right here for you to take a look.
My mom told me that mentorship changes lives and can change the way my future looks.
Youth is important. We're the future of Stockton.
I feel like as youth, we should take power in our communities because we are the next generations to take over.
When you're building power and you're organizing to action, you have to identify the issue, educate people, and then activate them.
Grown-ups should know that we are trying to make a change and it's not going to happen quickly. We're just really trying our best and we just want more opportunities.
When people like Jason and Rihanna come, it makes it apparent to me that people do care about us and we're not just left to struggle alone.
We need to have events like this that empower us to learn how to make it from where you're sitting to where I'm standing.
This is a commitment that I made when I ran for the city council. If you can look around, who made this happen when they said Stockton wouldn't come out?
Events like the National Night Out
Really showed what one person can do and make an impact and bring the community together.
Please welcome, in a Stockton way, Floyd Money Mayweather.
We will change the city of Stockton. I will stand by you 100%.
Because of this program, I was able to attend the Hollywood Impact Awards.
I've gotten to meet so many other different kids, adults.
To the people that make these events happen, I say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hollywood Cares.
I'm really happy that I'm here.
I'm ready. Are you?
All right, so you can go back and scan that if you're watching it, and you can donate and help. All right.